You know, growing up in the Northeast, up in Pennsylvania, one of the great things about my childhood that I remember is when October comes rolling around and the leaves start changing and the weather turns cool, and we always had some fun events. Hay rides were always a blast. Now, being in Florida, we don't have the leaves changing colors, and we certainly don't have the nice cool weather, but one thing we can look forward to are those Halloween happenings. And here to talk to us about Polk County's big event coming up is Alisha Glasscock. She is Recreation Coordinator with Polk County Parks and Rec. Alisha, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. And like you said, we might not always feel like October, but we try to bring it to Polk County.
Now, I attended last year's event, and it was spectacular. You have so many things going on. Just kind of give us a little overview of how long you've been doing this for, because certainly when you show up to this thing, you can tell it's being done right. And tell us a little bit about it.
Well, this will be our 17th annual, so we have been at it a while. I think it's my 8th year doing it, so wow. It's definitely evolved over the years and grown bigger. We've had to go to bigger fields, but we're definitely pride ourselves in being a little bit on the Halloween expert side.
Now, you say about bigger fields. Where's it being held this
It's
year?
at Harpe Park, which is located on Carter Road, right behind the the Walmart in Mulberry.
Okay.
It is a soccer quad, so it's 4 large soccer fields. So it's quite a big space, but we do try to fill it to the max and get as many people in there. So it kind of feels small and intimate, even though you have that many people there.
Now, just as a sidebar, that park is terrific.
It is.
If you have the chance to visit Harpe Park there in Mulberry, it's terrific. Dog park that's attached to it, Dioge Park, of course, the baseball fields and everything that goes on there, and the trails to walk.
Exactly.
What a terrific park.
It's a real multi-purpose type of facility. We have a couple star gyms. We like all our parks, but there's 4 or 5 that really get the use and the support and love of the community, and that's definitely one of them.
Yeah. Now, the event, like we said, it's huge. I mean, how many people show up to this thing?
It's Parks and Rec's biggest event, and we usually get about 3,500 people in the door, and when you add in all the hundreds of volunteers, it's probably around 4,000 people in the park.
And you think, oh, 4,000 people in a park, but, you know, having been doing it for 17 years, you guys kind of have it down, you know, the lines to go in, and it just seems like everything goes so smoothly. It's a great time.
It's good that you said that. That's always the goal. I mean, we spend months pre-planning and, you know, diagramming what went wrong last year, how can we fix it, how can we get it so that you don't have to wait in line, and get you in the park in a safe and efficient manner and get you to the fun stuff quick.
Now, the kids, I'll tell you, there are just kids everywhere just having a blast. This is so terrific to see. What are some of the things that the kids are going to be able to get involved with here?
Well, we really have 2 sections. We have what we call the midway, which is the 4 soccer fields, and that's really intended to be family friendly from start to finish. Normally our typical age range of the kids are from toddler up to about 10 or 12, I would say. Usually the preteens, they start to be a little too cool to come, but they still have fun. And then we have our scary haunted hayride back area that's maybe intended for those older preteens and adults, because that's really intended to be like the heart of a Halloween experience.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, there's also some other things going on, entertainment, things like that.
Yes, we have our stage area, which we play music through the night, but our big draw is our contests, and we have 2 sets of contests. The first, as you know, you emceed it really well last time, was the costume contest, which is open from babies and toddlers up through adults. We have 4 different age groups, so we try to make everybody participate.
And those little kids dressing up, that is so adorable.
It's so many people, and you know, you're surprised because you get the really expensive people. You could tell they went out and bought their costume, and then you get the really creative ones that just blow your mind, because you're like, I wouldn't have thought a couple of boxes and some cereal and some tape could make an iPod or a superhero, and they get really creative.
Well, I remember last year, one of I believe it was one of the winners dressed up like not a scarecrow, but one of the was it Saw or something like that, and really just had the burlap sack and created his own costume, and it was like perfect.
It was. Some of them are dead on. They're a little almost too creepy. Just you're like, you're kidding. You're acting that well. When you're 14, we want you on that hayride. But yeah, and then up through adults, like I said, we try to keep it tasteful if you're the adult. But they really go all out for that. So
yeah,
it's a highlight. And then the other big contest, which you have to be at least 12 to participate, because it's a pie eating contest, and it is a full regulation pie like you would buy at the grocery store, and we fill it full of whipped cream, and you have to devour the entire thing, crust included. And it is just, every year I'm amazed that anybody gets through it, but let alone that many people get through it, because it's kind of gross but fun to watch.
Yeah. Oh, it's a blast, because they're digging in, their face is buried, they'll look up and they've got pie up their nostrils, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's kind of gross, and there really is a technique to it. Over the years, if you watch, there are strategies which people employ, and we've had the same male winner for I think 8 years now, and he really has a pie eating technique where you see him and you compare him, and you're like, he has it down. I don't know if he does it professionally around at other parks, but he gets it at ours.
Now, how does somebody enter for the contest?
For the costume contest, we'll have them walk up and queue near the stage. We're moving it a little earlier in the night this time, just because sometimes the costumes start to fall apart as the night goes on. So we're trying to get the parents in and get them done, and so that they can have fun and not have to worry about messing up their bits and pieces of their costume. And then the pie, you'll have to actually sign up, because we do want to make sure, like I said, that you're at least 12, because if you're not, you're probably not going to be able to get anywhere near through that pie.
Yeah.
So.
And then, of course, lots of delicious food and goodies and treats for the kids.
Yes, we always try to have a wide variety of food vendors. One of our sponsors is Papa John's. They always come out every year and sell the pizza. Usually it's hot dogs, and we have actually a lot of dessert vendors we're interested in coming this year. So the candy apples and the ice cream and chocolate dipped things. So it sounds really good. Multiple shaved ice vendors. And then one of the big draws for the kid is the games area. We have, I think we're up to like 30 games at least, carnival games. Yeah, it's always a struggle, because I always want to add more, but then that requires more volunteers.
Have to find a bigger space,
and I need more
Loyce
space. Exactly. I'm starting to be like, is there somewhere else we can go? But yeah, we have at least 30, and they're all staffed by volunteers, and they're all carnival type, and they all win a little piece of candy or a toy at the end of it. So that's, they end up with a bag full by the end of the night.
And then, of course, the hayride. It's going pretty much the whole time.
The hayride, we're changing it up a little bit this year. It's not only going to be just the hayride. It's actually going to be a hayride that deposits you onto a walking trail area. So we're going to have you get off at where the normal loop would have been in the past, and we're going to have you walk that maybe third of a mile loop, so that you're actually this close to maybe the scare zone. So I'm anticipating it being a little scarier. We're not sure how it's going to go, because people have been asking for this kind of thing. So there might be a couple people who think, it's inconvenient to have to walk it, but at the same time, you're really getting that experience that you weren't getting from sitting up high on a trailer. So it'll be about the same a number of people, but we have to start it a little earlier, so it'll start around 7, but it still requires the bands, which we can talk about in a minute, but it should be the highlight of the event usually.
Now, you said about bands.
Yes, we are doing our pre-sale tickets starting September 30th. When you come in, they're $5. You can buy them at the Bartow office, at the Parks and Rec office. And when you buy a pre-sale ticket, your hayride band is included, so there's no additional cost. You just pick your time slot, which you want to go through the venue. If you don't pre-sale, if you want to buy at the door, that's fine. You would just have to pay an additional $1 for the hayride bands, and that's while supplies last, because we sell out of those every year. So we never know how many we're going to sell in the pre-sale, but as soon as you get to the park, if you want to go on that hayride, you need to go right over to the hayride tent and purchase for an additional $1 your band. Because
that's a good tip.
Yes, do that and then hit all the fun spots.
Well, it was a blast last year. You guys have done it for so many years and done it so well. This, like you said, this really is the biggest event of the year for the county. I mean, it's huge.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It starts as soon as this one ends. We'll start thinking about the next year, and it really is a lot of interdepartmental work. We have public safety comes out and does a whole section called Rescue Road, and then we have people like you come and be our MCs and our volunteers, and it requires a lot of help.
How do people volunteer? And also, I mean, I'm sure that you've got this takes a lot of money, a lot of
Yes.
funds to. I'm sure there are some people helping out with that.
Yes, we have several sponsors, several repeat sponsors, which is always good because that means we're doing something right. But Atkins, an engineering firm in the area, has been doing it for multiple years, and also Charlie Citrus Juices is another one of our big sponsors, and they have been promoting it, I think, at least 3 or 4 years, as well as Papa John's, and we just love having them, and their families come out, so that's always good to see, because you know you're doing something right when the people who are sponsoring it want to actually attend. So, but as far as volunteers, like I said, we need lots. We need hundreds, actually. As long as they're 14 years of age and they're not doing it for court order purposes, we really want them to come down, and we have spots for every kind of need or like. It doesn't necessarily have to be scary Halloween actor. We have food vending areas that we need help distributing, like free popcorn, and all of the games require at least one person to help facilitate running them. We have bounce houses that need safety monitors because we really want to make sure nobody's acting up and that they're doing it quickly so everybody gets a turn. So we have spots all over that field where whatever need or like or want a volunteer opportunity that you're looking for, we probably have something.
That's great. Well, let's throw out the date and times here so people can get this on their calendar and get those tickets bought ahead of time.
The actual date of the event will be Saturday, October 19th, and the doors will open at 5, and we will run until 10 o'clock that night. But like I said, as far as the tickets go, they're going to go on sale on the 30th of September up until October 18th, so we'll do it right up until the Friday before, and they are available at the Bartow Parks and Rec office Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. And so just make sure, if you're interested and you really want that hayride, I would suggest doing the pre-sale. I know it might be inconvenient to have to come to Bartow to buy your ticket, but once you have your ticket, we do a quick pass line, so you just come in and you can go. You don't have to wait in the line of people waiting to buy tickets that night. That's
the Haunted Halloween Hayride and Happenings, the quadruple H, if you will, happening at Loyce E Harpe Park this year on October 19th. This is going to be spectacular. Every year, this thing is a spectacle. I mean, so many things going on for the kids, entertainment. Hey, if you miss this, I don't know what to tell you. Make sure you stop by. If you can get your tickets in advance, they're on sale starting September 30th through the 18th. You can get those tickets in advance at the Parks and Rec office here in Bartow at 515 East Boulevard Street, and it's just $5 for admission at the gate, and we look forward to seeing you there. It's going to be a great time.